Hello, welcome. So glad we're all together for team time. I love listening to Eric Thomas. He does a motivational speech every single day that's available for free on YouTube, on his socials, and he's so intense. He's very intense, but he's very motivating and he has a powerful story. So, highly recommend checking him out if ever you need a little push like we all do from time to time. So, I'm going to pass it on to Dee.
All right. Well, thanks, Meg. Yeah, that was awesome. I think the more of that we can hear and those reminders, it's always good. I mean, mindset is everything, everything. Kelly McCullough is asking for his name. Maybe you can pop that in the chat. But we are glad you guys are with us. Team time, it's August 18th. Time seems to be going fast. It was going so slow at the beginning of the year, but it seems to be spiraling now. But I was looking at the calendar today, and from our perspective, from a business perspective, we've got 2 solid weeks and a day. I think two weeks and a day left in this month. So we're really only at the halfway mark. So that's always a great thing. And August is often and showing, especially with some returning clients, a turnaround month. So, so key to stay plugged in like you guys are, staying in action with our edge activities, and staying in touch with what's coming. And that really is the purpose of this call, is that we can stay in community, stay in growth together, and keep moving forward. So very glad you're here, and very well noted that you're here. And we like to always do some wins at the beginning, share some things. And she doesn't know I'm going to do this, but I want to just do a shout out and a compliment to Diane Nix. Diane and I have been mentoring together. Her former coach left, but we've been mentoring together for a while now. But Diane is so consistent with doing weekly calls with me. Her business has experienced what many of our businesses has in the past couple of, year or whatever, but she continues to show up, continues to try new things, develop, learn, grow, even when she's not seeing the immediate outcome of it. So that kind of consistency needs to be recognized, because so many of us can ebb and flow based on our emotions and disappointments and failures. But you're very much steady Eddie. And I just wanted to do a shout out for that, Diane.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's a
You're
lot
welcome.
of your inspiration, and I always enjoy our weekly calls because I learn something new and I can go apply it. So thank you.
Fantastic. Good. Good. All right. How about you, Meg?
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Julie Tracy. So I have known Julie for a couple of years now, and Julie does the work, and she does the work on her mindset. So I don't know about you, but Julie and I are similar in that sometimes our first thought isn't always the most positive thought about whatever is happening, right? And I have seen Julie just contend for what she wants to happen, what she is working towards, and her mindset, which has been really cool. She's plugged into the Edge Synergy group, which is a Facebook chat available for everyone in this team. And was sharing in there, she was watching the boot camp, watching on the conversations, and she's like, I am making this happen. And so just wanted to give you a shout out, Julie, because you are awesome. And we are just really inspired by you.
Thank you so much, Meg. I appreciate that coming from you. Thank you.
Of course. And we wanted to give a shout out really to every single person who's on this call, because, Eric talks about the one percenters, and you are the one percenters, right? Like, you don't have to be here. You don't get paid.
You don't get paid.
Maybe that, I don't know, that was a sign or something, but you don't have to be here, and yet you choose to be here, right? You show up 7:28 every Monday night and plug into this community. You share and just plug in. So we just want to acknowledge each and every one of you and honor you in your time. And we also want to know, what other shout outs do you have that you want? Maybe it's another shout out for another team member or somebody on this call, or maybe even a client, but we want to open the floor to you and anybody you want to shout out.
Hey, I'm just going to shout out to my peer mentoring team. And Gina's right here with me saying it. It's Gina and Debbie Pasco and Beth Bilton, who's on vacation, so not on the call. But we communicate numerous times during the week. We support each other. We help each other. It's like I'm constantly saying if it's technical, I'm like, how do you do this? What'd you do about that? How'd you make that happen? And they just jump right in and tell me, and they'll like, let's get on a call. Let's talk it through. Let's just, it makes such a huge difference. And I know I've shared this before, but if you don't have a peer mentoring group in here, I would really encourage you to pick a couple of people that you see on the screen that you connect with and just say, hey, you want to do it? They'll tell you no if they don't. So, it's, and your feelings will not be hurt. You will just move on and find two other people. It's okay.
I love that. I love that. Well, your peers were about to say the same thing. They both said that in the chat. So that is very cool. And a brainstorm that came out of that was something that you and Debbie Pasco worked on. And we might as well just pop it in here. So I'm
Sure.
going to screen share, but maybe Vicki, you can share about a tool that you guys created that could be helpful for those that would like it.
Absolutely. So I sometimes if I have a problem, just thinking Optavia, it's best if I take that problem and kind of work on some kind of a solution. And so what Dee has so nicely put up on the screen for us is one of the things I ran into because she sent me, which we'll get to in a minute, she sent me a graphic because all the new pricing and that kind of stuff of the kits and the packages and all that. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to pull together a cheat sheet for that because I was all over the place on it. And somebody else from the leadership team, Dee, is that
Mhm.
who it was from? Somebody
Yeah.
else pulled it together and it's beautiful. So there it is. If you're in the Edge group, you already received it because I wasn't sure if it was coming through well. But it gives you the 8 plans. It tells you the base cost. It tells you what the new client price is, what the continuity order price is. So if they just ordered the same kit, either as a returning client or this is their second order. And just really, and it tells you what the previous discounted price was because it is kind of nice to see the difference. So you kind of look at that. Well, I looked at that and I was like, what the heck is an Optavia active bundle? Or what is a Optavia favorite variety kit and a 2-week Optavia trial kit? What the heck are these things? So it got me thinking. It was like I was really excited about this sheet. And so then I started doing research, and here's what I learned. Nothing is all in one place. So I had to scour through all of the Optavia sites. So for each of the kits that are listed on the graphic that Dee just shared, we'll just kind of go over the first one because you'll get it with that. So for the Optimal 5-in-1, the first thing is it tells you what's in it. So 20 boxes of essential fuelings. Obviously, they have the ones that they put in it, but if you edit that, that's fine. The second bullet point is telling you who this is for. So the 5-in-1 is for people whose goal is to lose more than 15 pounds with the right nutrition. This is all from Optavia pages. Okay, I did not make this stuff up. And the third bullet point is telling you what the plan is. So 5-in-1, most of us probably know, 5 fuelings, 1 lean and green meal per day. So I've done that for each of the kits. The only one that I kind of looked at today and said, I'm going to have to adjust this a little bit is for the optimal 4-in-2 active plan. And also I looked up today because the gal that I had the preliminary talk with is type 2 diabetes. And so I did go to the 4-in-2 guide and read through that. And it does say in there that it's good for type 2 diabetes. So I will probably add that to that and then kind of up this or update this. But anyway, for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like I have to go all over the place. So hopefully it's helpful to you. The request is the person who created this has said it is for coaches only. So please do not take it and send it to a client saying, here's the information on each of the kits. That's not okay. So you know what? They didn't mention optimal snacks anywhere in that, which I thought was interesting. Anywhere that I saw, but trust me, it could well be in there somewhere. So maybe they don't do that anymore because the popcorn and the puffs are
Some of
going
them are
away.
going away, like the puff snacks are going away.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm
yeah.
wondering if that's
And that's
why.
not usually what you'd be talking to a new client about
That's a good
in the
point.
screening process. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
think it's a great resource. I appreciate it, Vicki, what you put into it because,
Happy to.
I had a health assessment this week. It's been a minute. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit it. Been a minute. And I mean, I had to go in and look up the pricing and stuff so I could know in advance instead. I wouldn't want to be like, I'm not sure how much that is. Hold on. So, so it's good to have that as an easy reference, whether you
Yes.
keep it digitally. That's why it's in a Google Doc. If you want to keep it
Mhm.
digitally or if you want to print it, it's there for you. I dropped the link in the comments for you.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
So, so before we move on to some highlights from this past week of some calls that happened, any other shout outs, notable moments we want to do at this time?
Lori Schlegel, do you want to share? She is a new client.
Yay.
Yes, I have a new client. I signed up a new client. She hasn't started yet, but her box arrived on Sunday, so we're getting there. And I have to say, it was one of those organic conversations that it was a friend that I reconnected with she used to live in Pennsylvania where I live. And about 8 years ago, she moved to New Hampshire. So we sort of lost touch with each other, but I thought, well, I'm just going to give her a call. We haven't talked in a while. And I didn't know that she had I kind of knew that she had an injury, but that injury about a year ago left her a little bit less mobile than she likes to be. And she gained a lot of weight, and she's pre-diabetic. And so she was saying how she was struggling with all of this. And I said, well, I'm a health coach. If you're interested, I could tell you about my program. And that was that. And I really wasn't even sure, because she's someone who really likes to research a lot and, not just take things at face value. But we got on another call where we could do the interest call, and she was like all in. So I was very excited. And her husband might sign up as well.
That is so good, Lori. And well done for speaking up and saying, well, hey, I'm a health coach. Like I might be able to help you with that. And initiating that conversation. So I love it. I'm so excited for you. And it reminded me, like I think I mentioned it last week, but had somebody reach out. I know I'm distributing it to my positive energy, doing edge activities and stuff, but she reached out in private message, one of those, hey Dee, I'm ready. And she has never liked a thing of mine, on whether it's a personal post or a business related post. Nothing. So people are watching what we're doing, so always keep that in mind. And we're going to talk a little bit about personal branding at the end, and why do we do it, and why is this visibility so important. And then Vicki Meister, you shared earlier that you had met with somebody and she had never heard of Optavia. So we have to keep that in mind, that there is a population, a world, there's so many people we can help. We might have stories in our head if your business, something's changed in your business or whatever, and we didn't look, but just remember there are a lot of people that need what we have, and many have never even heard of it. So it's going to be an incredible gift to them. So
I wanted
all
to do a
right.
shout out. I wanted
Yeah,
to do a
please
shout
do.
out for Ellen. She's brand new, and she is doing the do. She is posting, she's bringing in new clients, she's being good to her clients. We even had a celebration tips call recently from the very first client that signed up with her when she started, who's doing fantastic. So I'm just super duper pumped that she's doing so well, and she's here on the call. She's a nurse and she works nights a lot, so she can't always come to this coach call, but she got to be here today. And then also wanted to shout out, y'all may have already done this because since I came on just a couple minutes late, but it's Frank's birthday. Thought y'all might want to know that he says, don't tell anybody. And so I can't thank Shauna and Frank enough. I know it's going to embarrass them, but I can't thank them enough. They have been such good leaders to me and to anybody that I've brought to them, and have been fantastic at just you know, lots of patience, lots of love, lots of caring. And I can't thank them enough. Thank you.
Oh, that was so beautiful. So beautiful. Congratulations, Ellen. I did see that about your client, and you were off and on here. I know even when you're at work, you're sneaking in on your with your earbuds in. So I'm glad you're here, and happy birthday, Frank. It was yesterday, right? Frank, happy birthday. Eating that healthy brownie. I saw your post because you got your goals. You got goals. So that is awesome. Well, this will be a good transition because Frank is going to share, like, from a leadership perspective of listening in on last week's Ascend call with where Dan Bell interviewed Nick Johnson, talking about what's coming with Optavia 3.0. And then Frank and I were both on earlier today with Dr. A and Dan, and they were reinforcing some of this. So Frank, just excited to hear your perspective and maybe even just explanation to maybe anybody who missed what was said on that call or unaware of the direction we're headed.
Yeah. Thank you, Kelly. Those were very kind words. And congratulations both to Lori and Ellen for doing the action steps, right? Just speaking up. But anyways, we were on the call last week, a leadership call with Nick Johnson, Dr. A, and Dan Bell. And then today we were on the leadership call with Dan Bell and Dr. A. So both of those kind of a lot of similar themes on that, but basically you've heard of Optavia 3.0. And to kind of give you some backstory, back when Optavia started, they were known as Medifast and then Take Shape for Life. And they were, I don't remember the exact dates, and I had some screenshots, but it's been a busy day. I haven't had a chance to go back and reflect on those. But it was for a number of years, Medifast and Take Shape for Life were around. That was like 1.0. And then when Dr. A joined and Dan Bell wrote the comp plan, it became 2.0. And that was kind of like before COVID, kind of through COVID. And, you know, in the beginning was like beginners kind of trying to get the ball rolling. And then 2.0 was a lot of coaches, a lot of growth. They saw a lot of momentum with Optavia. And then now we're kind of entering about now and beginning this fall. And then next year, Optavia is entering 3.0. And you've already seen some of that transition. And the way I understand it is they're kind of asking coaches to kind of level up their game. And they're making it a lot more professional. So in part, they kind of increase the $99 renewal fee for a coach up to $199. And that's kind of weeding out some of the people that were just kind of sticking around, treating it like a hobby, right? They also made the certification test mandatory to renew your coaching business. Again, kind of upping the game a little bit. And then there's a lot of other things going on with the EDGE program and that sort of stuff. The FDA, Federal Drug Administration, they have now done a bunch of new studies into Optavia, and there's been a lot of new clinical studies coming out, and the results of those are getting ready to come out, and they're going to be released to us as coaches soon. And then, you know, we can obviously put them out to the general public. But, you know, one of them is that 98% of clients that are compliant on program, on the 5-in-1 program, they retain their muscle mass. And I think the way I understand it now, don't quote me exactly, but the way I understand it, Optavia is kind of pulling away from heavily promoting GLP-1 drugs. And what Nick Johnson said the other day is brand new clinical study now has come out about the GLP-1 drugs, saying that a lot of clients are seeing a 40% loss in skeletal muscle mass. And that's huge, 40% loss. And that leads to problems down the road, scoliosis, you know, and all kinds of things like that, back problems, neck problems, that sort of stuff. Because, you know, it's the skeletal muscles that kind of hold us all together, kind of bind us together, our skeletons, right? So when you lose that muscle, that really is going to generate some problems down the way. So it's my understanding they're going to start pulling away from that, kind of going back to some of the core values. But really what 3.0 is, it's more of a leadership game. It's more everybody up in their game, doing the do with the EDGE activities, getting the clients. They're also, Optavia is forming some committees. There's like 4 committees, and I don't remember the names of them. And if you want to be part of this committee where you actually have a voice, it's kind of like a city council, right? Or government or something. So you want to be part of this committee, you got to earn your way there. It's not what you've done in the past. It's not you were an IPD in the past or a national in the past or a presidential in the past. This is a brand new game. And they're doing that with a lot of things. In fact, it's no longer what you used to do. It's what you're doing moving forward. And, you know, we can no longer rest on our laurels, what we used to do. Oh, I used to be, you know, such and such. It don't matter. What are you doing moving forward? What are the action steps? And they're really taking a hard look. Who's bringing on clients? Who's earning the client assist bonus? Who's bringing on coaches? Who's helping coaches and that sort of thing. And as a result of that, there's a lot of compensation plans for brand new clients and coaches that are out there as well. I think there's 4 different add-ons in addition to what we're currently making, and they're kind of looking at some other things. So I think that's the kind of the gist of it, is they really want coaches to up their game, treat it like a business, and they're weeding out people that were playing with it and weeding out people that are treating it as a hobby. All right. And just one last comment that I heard, I think it was Dan Bell say today, and I love this comment. And I'm not perfect. I'm guilty. Okay. I'm guilty. But he said, if you're going to be on a Zoom, a team time, a training Zoom, he said, have your camera on, be looking at the screen, and don't be multitasking. He said, this is a business. I got my notes here. He said, this is a business. And he said, by being on camera, looking at the screen, you're committed and you're focused. And he said, if you're multitasking, you're over here trying to do something else or whatever, you're not committed. Now, I'm guilty. I've tried to do the multitasking. I know sometimes we can't be on screen, we're driving or whatnot, but treat it like a business. All right. That's the hard Frank for everybody. Thank you for the birthday wishes, everybody.
Thanks, Frank. And thanks for giving us your birthday wisdom. 1 year older, one day after your birthday. So thanks for sharing that. I'm curious if anyone else listened to the calls last week and the boot camp and had any nuggets of wisdom that they wanted to share with us, or maybe you have a question about something that Frank shared, or any other questions. So we want to just offer it up to you to see if you have anything you wanted to share tonight.
I listened to the recording because I wasn't able to go. And I'm just very excited. They were kind of mysterious about what's going to be coming up and what they were going to reveal in September and then also end of October. And so I'm very excited about what to, find out what's going on with that and what's going to be revealed to us. So can't wait to find out what else is going to be new. Every time Optavia does something new, that just since I've been around, which has not been as long as most of y'all, it's always better. It's always improved. It's always something that is beneficial, by the way, to the coaches. So it's something that I think is a big deal, because in so many corporate structures today that used to have coaches, network marketing groups that used to have coaches, they're getting rid of them. They're making them affiliates now and all kinds of things like that. And they're just not, they're not valuing the coaches. Optavia values the coaches. That's where they put their trust.
Absolutely. Yeah. In poker, they call it going all in, and Optavia absolutely has gone all in on us as coaches, which is incredible to see. So thanks for pointing that out, Kelly.
And I don't remember the language. I was just going to pop this in. I remember the language, but I remember Nick saying somewhere along the way, like his goal is to make us, like, honestly, the most professional health coaching organization out there. And everything I'm seeing and from things that they indicated, and I know there's going to be a big reveal at convention next year, like the ultimate release of what's coming. So we're definitely going to want to all be there for that, but it's definitely in the area of metabolic health. And all the statistics that are showing that, like, what is it? 95% of people are, what is the term metabolic? I want to say intolerant, but that's not the word. What is the word?
Metabolically unhealthy.
No, there's
Dysfunction.
Insufficient.
It's metabolic dysfunction.
Dysfunctional. I wrote it
Yeah.
down.
A metabolic disorder or
Yeah,
dysfunction.
right.
Yeah.
And that is really where the trend is. And what they indicated was that what they're going to come out with will have clinical studies associated with it, where we can go to hospitals, or not to hospitals, to physicians, and be able to show this in what we have. So I think it's going to be very cutting edge, and at a whole new level. So that's why the playing field and what we're doing now is so important, and why they're really, rewarding us for doing the business building activities that follow the compensation plan, the increasing your audience, starting conversations, bringing on coaches, so that we are ready. We are out there. We are in position and ready to roll once this all comes. So I think it's very exciting. And yeah, they're teasing us a lot. I'm like, I want to know, what is it? Go ahead,
I was
Gina.
gonna say, you also asked about the boot camp. I'm a give me the words girl, and anybody who's worked with me long enough knows, just give me the words and I can run with it. If you haven't listened to Saturday's boot camp, go back and listen to it, because they really gave a lot of conversational prompts and how simple. And we all know that they're simple and we make them more complicated than they really are, but they really gave some great prompts, like, what are you up to? Well, I've just cleaned out my closet. I guess I can get rid of those clothes that were too big 5 years ago, and then move on to something else, and, ask so what's up with you? Like, don't go on and on, kind of switch gears, but throw that little nugget out there, little things. And it was really, I took like 5 pages of notes. It was really a good call.
Thank you.
That boot camp recording is available in the Momentum Bootcamp Facebook group, as well as the slides from that. So if you're like a person that would like to hang on to that sample of what, this starting conversations, because that can seem awkward to some individuals, I thought it was brilliant. So thanks for bringing that up, Gina. And the slideshow is available. So I put it in the comments. Meg had put it up on the screen. It's at minute 40 of that training is at minute 40 of the boot camp. That the entire boot camp was like an hour and 20 minutes, and her section is about 14 minutes, but it really good, really good. And next week, I attended a workshop this weekend on personal branding and why it's so important. And it was an interesting audience that was there. There were mostly executives in the professional world, some entrepreneurs, but the language and what they said made so much sense, and so much sense relative to what we're doing in Optavia and even with our Edge activities. So I don't want to rush that. We're right at the 8 o'clock. So I'm going to save that for next week. We'll lead with that next week, but definitely want you to be back and be a part of it, because I learned a lot from it. So all right. And then this week, keep track of a personal health accomplishment, a business accomplishment, something in your personal life. Next week, we would love to do a round robin of positivity of what's going on with our team, because focusing on the positive is really what, where your mindset is where the energy goes. So staying on the good is so important. So thank you, Frank, for sharing. Everybody who contributed tonight. Thank you, Meg. They are going over the app, I think, tonight, tracking in the Optavia app on the community call. And the Valentine's call is on client support. So if you want to tune in for those calls after this, they are available. So great to see you guys. We'll see you in the Facebook group this week.